and do it fast. It's time for the Evercast. Are you ready to greet Ed, Rich, Crow, and Pete as they talk Evercade? Good times will never fade. Put away the switchblade, sheath the sword of Vienna. Stop the blaster master, there's no enemy below as we dip into euphoria. Turn on, tune in, and do it fast. It's time for the Evercast.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Evercade podcast. I've got Rich, Pete, and Crow. How's everybody doing this morning?
Hey, if they didn't tune in, how would they hear the song?
They wouldn't.
Enigma.
That just went. It was like a flyby of a.
But yeah, what's going on, everyone? It's a good day. It's a good day in the neighborhood.
Any day you can wake up and talk about video games or do stuff, or it's a good day. I think.
I can, man.
Today's world.
I agree.
That's way too fucking hot. Ah, God dang it! Oh, my studio light. There we go. Like I can't see anything. It's old.
Is that filament that you're rolling up there, Crow?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Fix my camera a little bit.
What are you going to be printing with that filament?
Who knows? I just got to get it off a cardboard roll.
Got it.
And I actually have a device that would make it easier, except this doesn't have any hole to throw through this.
All right. What are we doing there today? There's no news, right?
We're gonna. We'll toss it down and we'll talk about Broken Sword because there's a.
Oh yeah, let's put that trailer up. Let's see what it's all about.
Pretty divided. Yeah.
Wait. I don't understand. Who's against this except for you?
Well, we don't know yet. We have to talk about it, right?
No, a lot of people like
a lot of people like Ed, and Eddie.
no, like a lot of my viewers who comment, and I have there's one comment that I had to pin that kind of.
Are we just getting into it? Are we just going to start talking about Broken Sword? Is that it, or should we watch the trailer?
We'll do the trailer because Blaze couldn't be bothered to put up a blog page like they usually do. We'll just say hi to the chat and then we'll do that.
Yeah, man.
What are you talking about?
You know, normally Blaze puts up they'll put up a blog page. It'll talk about the games and have a summary.
Uh-huh.
They couldn't be bothered to do that this time.
They listed it in the cartridge announcement, just like they did with Indie Heroes.
Yes.
All right, anyway. Let's say hi to the chat and get this rolling.
Yeah. We got Genejoke, we got some members, we got Nico, we got Archive Gig, we got Joe Whitlash, so many members, Gamertron, Lloyd RJM, the Intellivision Gamer, Dan Ruff, Darian Chapman. All right. So let me play you the trailer, and I don't know if you guys have watched it. We can talk over it because I don't have the audio because that copyright claims. You all right, Rich?
Yeah, no, just Gene.
Oh, no concern is about a crowd. Spoiler, you're right. It is about our crowd.
Wow.
Oh, that's so mature. Okay, Broken Sword, The Shadow of the Templars.
Yeah, it's funny.
I've heard of this franchise. I've heard of it too.
And this game in particular is not as. It's older than I thought it was. I thought this was something that came out in 2000 something. But
no, this is the 90s. This is 90s.
Yeah, it's 96.
Yep.
I thought
there's 6 of them, I believe. I've heard of this. I've just never gone into them because, I don't know why. I've never really tried them.
What's funny is at the very end here, they have a little clip here, and I don't know if you guys let's see here if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, with the goat that attacks him, because apparently that's a very infamous puzzle in this game with the goat. I can't remember exactly what it was. I was going to look it up because I remember hearing about this puzzle. Apparently, it's something where it's something that seems very simple to do that you need to accomplish, and it seems like there should be a straightforward solution to it, but there's actually a very, very complicated solution to getting around this goat or something.
Oh wow.
So apparently this goat puzzle is very infamous in this game.
Well, these styles of games, the puzzles are everything, right? That's the whole longevity and I guess power of these games is the puzzles, right? I mean, the game
Yeah, again,
looks
it's a
good.
point and click adventure, and I like point and click adventures, but I have no idea like if this is more like a LucasArts type.
I think it's like a
point-and-click
Monkey
adventure.
Island game, if anything.
Yeah, okay,
Like,
so
it
LucasArts.
feels that way about it, and the art style looks good. I mean, not necessarily my jam, but what was that game that came out on Evercade last year that I
Full Void.
That Dalphane collection? No, this is
No.
not. This is not Full Void.
no like yeah, Full Void, but that wasn't my jam either. I'm just making a point that just because it's not your jam doesn't mean say it can't be an amazing game. But my opinion on this is I wasn't really into these games, so I can't say a positive or negative about it, but I'm definitely excited to try it for sure, because why not, right? You only live one life, and I'm sick and tired of playing platformers and shooters all the time. So if you check out my Toa Plan video that I just put up last night over on Evercade, go check that out. It's pretty good. I actually make a couple comments, and I didn't realize I was doing it, that I'm like kind of getting tired of top-down shooters. Like, so there seems to be, this is a refreshing thing that I'm glad I saw that this morning, that this is coming, because it kind of, mixes it up a bit, because I can't tell all the top-down shooters apart anymore. Like,
Really?
they're all blending into one. Like, and they all are easy, too easy, or too hard, or balanced improperly. And I'm just tired of that now. So this could be fun. I'm excited to try this, to be honest with you.
It kind of reminded me of when the type of game this is, the era it came out in the '90s. It reminded me of another series, a point and click adventure series I played on the PlayStation back in the day. Anybody remember Discworld?
Yeah.
With Eric Idle? That's what it kind of reminds me of.
Yeah.
It's going to be like. Not so much like off the wall wacky, with that kind of humor.
Yeah. Well,
But,
Discworld didn't like Terry Pratchett or something was a writer.
Yeah, that was
I've
Terry
never played it.
Pratchett.
I
Yeah,
heard of
and
it.
it was the main character, Rincewind, was voiced by Eric Idle.
Oh,
So-
nice.
And it's not going to have all that
Eric Idle's
nonsensical humor.
a teen actor, right? From the 80s, right? Eric Idle?
Monty Python's Flying Circus?
Oh, is that him? Okay. I'm getting this up with another Eric something. Was he in the Holy Grail, Eric Idle?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
And he was in Life of Brian. He was in all of them, I think, right?
yeah. He's part of Monty Python, so he's in all the movies.
Yeah. Those movies you shouldn't watch when you're like 8.
I don't know, like the Holy Grail. I was older than 8 when I first saw that. But
I saw Holy Grail.
Rabbit,
That's a 1980 movie, I think.
something like that, yeah.
So what was your
70s maybe.
reaction to this, Rich? Are you excited? Are you just like, it's another game I want to try? Or
So yeah, I mean, so in my opinion, all right, you've got, this is the cart that's coming alongside of Indie Heroes 4. So, like, what was my expectation? What would I would have wanted in a cart that's coming alongside that cart? Something that is also, and it's also the beginning of the year, right? We're kicking off the year.
Jeez, and it's February. Like, who thought these were coming in February? I didn't think they were coming in February.
I did. I finally got one right. I finally got one right. But and I thought for sure that there was going to be a cart that came alongside it, because again, like for me, I pre-order on Funstock, so you got to give me 2 carts so I can get my shipping. So at least I knew that was probably going to be a thing,
right?
But what I wanted was either something that was recognizable, that is like kind of kicking off the year with a little bit of a bang, or I wanted pure discovery, and I got the latter. I got pure discovery for me, and technically for people over in the UK, this might be actually a little bit of a bang, because there are some people that look fondly on the series. So it's one of those things where it's like it's the best of both worlds kind of thing for for our friends over across the pond. Like they might have grew up with these games, and then for us, we kind of get to like know these games, and we get to figure it out.
Well, these games were released over here.
Someone in chat said it's the most liked video on Facebook.
No,
for Evercade, it's the most liked trailer on Facebook, on the Facebook site.
How many likes did it get?
This is
Take a look.
You know what I thought was funny? They dropped this trailer Talking about burying lead, the day that Switch 2 was announced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they
and it
made
was
fun of it, which I loved. I gave him a big heart on that. I'm like, good for you to own that.
Well,
And
you
actually,
know
to
what,
be
though?
honest, this is more interesting than the Switch 2 from what I saw. I mean, it's
Um,
the Switch 2 looks exactly like the first one.
well, I'll give you points on that, Crow, because we all knew everything about Switch 2 3
Yeah.
weeks ago. Everything was released and leaked. So,
well,
so
I
I
wasn't
think
paying
Nintendo
attention.
just got through.
Because to
They
be
just
honest,
threw it
I
out.
didn't really know anything about the Switch 2 until yesterday when I
Yeah,
finally
that's
watched
not your
it.
jam, right? That's kind of my
You
jam.
don't care? No, not really. No, I just.
I do. You know that, Gene.
So
It's a
I'll
handheld, so yeah, you're interested in it.
Yeah, of course.
Put it in
I'm a
perspective,
handheld gaming nut.
I'm going to condense my 30-minute rant into 5 minutes that I.
Or you
did
can tell people just go watch a video.
Well, no, I did that live. We'll see. Well, yes. Well, here's the
That
thing.
should be
Like,
a good thing. You get more views, more clicks, right?
205.
well, here's so when I make a video like this, I always like here's the thing, and I'll show you. I pinned a comment from somebody who highlighted it very well. That when I know I'm going to be honest, I'm like, listen, I know I'm gonna take crap over this, but I'm not just gonna lie and say something that I'm not. And the problem that people have, then they forget, is it's like, listen, I never said it was a bad game. I never said this. I just don't think it belongs in Evercade, and I'll tell you why.
I tell you why it belongs on Evercade after you're done explaining why
Yeah,
it's
yes,
wrong.
yeah. But I'd be curious
Tell you why you're wrong, brother.
because I think like people just they
I'm gonna
blew-
clean my desk a little bit while you guys are ranting. Don't worry, I'm listening.
Well, I've got no ranting to do.
But I think people forget that it's like, hey, this is just my opinion. You can believe and kind of do whatever you want. And let me share this from because Ghost Beagle said this well. And the other thing too is people were like, oh my god, this game is so popular, and it's not. And I actually have proof. That was the other thing. People are like, you've never heard of this? And I'm like, dude, so I have.
That's because it's popular in the UK and Europe.
Yeah.
Kind of. I'll get to that.
Okay.
See, the proof is one comment.
No. Just listen. No, this is what I'm getting to the proof in a moment. This is somebody basically summed up. They said, love your enthusiasm for videos. I have no problem with your deployment in the latest release. And that's what bothered people, right? And then he said, it's so much better to be honest and try to please the crowd. He said, I'm not a fan of myself of a point and click adventure. As a Brit, I've also been hiding under a rock. I'm not familiar with this release. And and there's a reason why. That said, I'm going to give this a go. I think of the beauty of Evercade exposes you to games you would not play. And whilst I don't love every game, blah 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 blah. Kind of like the summary. Pleasantly surprised. Here's the one thing with that. I liked that more in the beginning when we had like Pico's mix in, because we had like Namco, Atari. We had we kind of had more of those like nostalgic name brands. Last year we haven't had that as much. We did get Sunsoft, right? We got Sunsoft, we got Toplin, but those have kind of fallen far and few between. So.
Wait,
whoa. Yeah.
My friend.
Yeah. Time out.
Time out on the field.
Yeah.
All right. You cannot say that last year we didn't get high profile titles when I'm looking at Tomb Raider and Legacy of Kain along with the Sunsoft collection. You can't. Like, I'm sorry. I can't.
That's an F on you there.
So we got two, but my point is like.
So we got two. That wasn't it. Like more like five.
Yeah, but like okay. Let me articulate this a little bit better. So like if you're looking at the first 10 carts, we had like Data East, we had Namco, I felt like we had a lot more of those like nostalgia like IPs. Right. So you got like a Pico, you're like, okay, here's some great ones like Water Margin, and then you had some other games that weren't as bad. Now we're just getting more of those we're getting too much of the unknown games, and it kind of reminded me of like.
Wait. Just because you're not aware of it doesn't mean they're unknown.
Anyways, I'm just gonna ignore what you're saying. Your pointless comment and move on. But what I'm saying is, like, we're getting games that are lesser quality, that are as much, like.
Wait. Lesser quality. What makes you think they're lesser quality?
Hey.
You just said you didn't know anything about it.
Anyways, so my point is. Like, have you ever heard of like iArcade, right? They kind of had a lot of these titles. They kind of had a lot of these like lesser knowns. They didn't get the popular ones that Arcade 1-Up could get. They couldn't get your Pac-Mans, your Dig Dugs, and they went under. Not saying that like Evercade is going to happen, but my point is like there's people who just love Discovery, but every time, and again, I'm going a lot about like the comments I see out there on my channel. People that want some more well-known things. They want a good mix, right? So there's people that say, They want a good mix of games, but then they're hypocritical when it comes to, like something else like Atari. They'll be like, oh, well, I don't care about Atari. Of course you don't. But here's my proof why this game wasn't that popular. Because people are like, I can't believe you've never heard of it. I've never heard of it. Growing up with people never heard of it. I'm not saying that. I've never seen YouTubers go game hunting and be like, oh my God, I have to buy this. So it's not as popular, and there's a reason. It only sold 825,000 copies, right? And that was because like half of them maybe.
I'm going to stop you there. That's significant for the time period.
No, it's not. And I'll tell you.
It is significant for the time period because games that were coming out in the 90s very seldom sold more than 1 million to 2 million. And these were big, giant franchises of units sold. They very seldom topped anything more than that. It's only in the last 20 years in the 2000s where you're seeing mega sales on franchises because the gaming industry came out of a niche and went into more mainstream. So that is a fact. If you go look at sales data for a lot of games in the 90s, there's very few games that achieve that. Mostly AAAs.
Let me finish my thoughts. And so, and half of like 480 of those were on sale, right? So there's indie developers that would love to sell around 1 million copies, but I'm not. What I'm saying is, for as far as a game being well known, that's nothing. Because people were acting like, oh, you should know this, like Final Fantasy, 10 million copies, Gran Turismo, 10 million copies, Tekken 3, like all the popular games sold in the millions of copies. So that's the point that I was trying to make. Like, that's also,
there's a substantial top heavy there. Yes. But at that time, there was thousands of games coming out. So if you scale it, the percentage on top is small compared to where the average is at. And not every game is a Gran Turismo. So you have to, when you talk about numbers, you just can't use the numbers that makes your point. You have to actually lose it. At the time in the 2000s, those 5 years, I'm sure probably about 400 or 500 games were released. So when I'm looking at 800,000, that's shockingly more than I thought it sold.
No, but Pete, those numbers make my point that when a game is
because the games that don't sell well in the past aren't necessarily not well known now. They gain a following.
Little Samson.
They can, right. But the point I'm trying to make is that they were acting like I should have known about this, like Gran Turismo or Final Fantasy that sold millions of copies all over the world.
Oh, they wrote comments saying you should know about it. Well, yeah, that's
they didn't say. I've seen these comments. All they've said.
I'm paraphrasing. Like, oh my God,
I'm surprised you haven't heard of this series before.
Yeah. So that's different than telling you should have known this series. So I don't like those types of comments when they say you should know this. It's like different than I'm surprised means I okay, because you're like a gamer or whatever.
So that's
right? I wouldn't get lost in that.
Also, six games in a series. So 6 games in a series, and you haven't heard of it?
Yes. So that was kind of my point. Like, it's not as popular as people think it is.
It's not as popular, even though there's 6 games in the series.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with what I said. Anyways, moving on to what I'm trying to do. With those, I'm just going to, when you try to contradict me, Cora, I'm just going to ignore you and move on, just so you know. But you can try.
So you're just ignoring my criticism.
If you're not going to add anything to the conversation, I'm just going to ignore it, which is what I should have done the whole time.
You don't like it when I'm calling you out. That's what you're saying, and you're just ignoring what I'm saying because it doesn't agree with your point.
You can get the whole. You could if you really wanted the whole series, you could get it on sale, and you can also buy it on Steam and everything else. So, no, the last thing I just wanted to say is that for $20, I think people might like this game. For $30 for 2 games that are basically kind of like the same game, it feels like an overpriced like Worms collection, where it's like, here's the same game that you really have to like. And so I don't, and for $30, I think it's too much. And we have that with Indie Heroes, which Indie Heroes is cool, but we already know these games. So for me, it was a weak start. Like, I like point-and-click adventures. Even if this was like Monkey Island or something, I would be more excited. But the good news is I just want this to be out of the way for Neo Geo. This is one of those, if I wasn't collecting every cart, it's an easy pass. I just think something like this was an easy license for Blaze to get. And here's another thing that they should have done that Commander Keen brought up. They should have used the Scum emulator or Scum VM emulator where you could use mouse and keyboard support. But it's like Blaze is like they're just dumping ROMs into physical carts, right? Like they did us a solid once with the Duke Nukem collection that they had someone else remaster. That would have been more impressive. But I think people are looking at this thing like, oh, this is going to be a cool Dragon's Lair. I'm like, it's going to be a generic,
Who said that? Nobody said that.
I'm just saying. I know, like people look at this and they look at the graphics and they get sucked into that. And like, yes, there are. And then people said, "Well, you don't like point games?" No, I grew up playing like Police Quest, like the Sierra games and all that.
Yeah.
You know, and like
Are you saying
and
you'd rather have Police
Quest
Quest than
follows.
this?
and like Shadowgate, and it's a very like it's a very B-side, and that's cool if people like it and it was nostalgia. But it's kind of it's Blaze being Blaze starting off the year without a banger. Maybe they want to move this out of the way so we can get over to SNK. Now here's the last thing that I'll say. So there will be people who will say like that say they want variety, and then when Neo Geo comes out, those people will be hypocrites. I guarantee you, and they'll say, "Oh, this game just has
That's
shooters."
exactly what you're doing, except the reverse.
No, dude, no. Like when I look at a variety of a game, I'm not going to be like, "Oh, well, just because it's a point and click doesn't mean it's good." It's like you don't need a different genre for variety. We can get to that in the polls. We just need different, unique, good games. And so,
You have been just saying that because there's no mouse support.
Well, that's one aspect of it. But to me, it took up a slot. It took up a slot. Very very unimpressive. Just kind of like the last dual cart itself wasn't as impressive. And when you have a dual cart slot, it needs to be something like Asta Bros or something like Full Void, where it's like a modern indie game, right? Where it's like really special. And this for $30, this doesn't fill that. So it's like, do people really? Some people are kind of like,
people are really interested in this. People are really a lot of people.
But it's split. It's split.
It's split. Yes, it's split like 95-5.
I think we put it this way, Carl. I think if I said I really like the game, you would say the opposite of what I said, regardless. That's why sometimes I can't take you seriously, because you're going to go the opposite of me.
Well, so I mean, all right. Like opinions aside,
yes.
we got people in the chat saying that it's the most liked Facebook post on Evercade's Facebook, like on the official Evercade channel.
Yeah.
Over the SNK announcement. The SNK announcement had 308 likes. This has like 340, 350 likes.
Yeah.
It's over Indie Heroes 4. It's over the last 2 or 3 that came before it. So what I'm saying though is this isn't what I'm saying is this is an East-West thing, right?
Yes.
Again, there's the audiences that Blaze caters to is primarily not us in the North American territory.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
That's the issue.
They're from their territory in the UK, catering to the audience in the UK. And when you look at all 43 soon to be cartridges in this lineup on the red side, you can see that this is a Blaze written love letter to the past of the people that are in their territory, and that's part of the reason why I love Evercade so much, is because it gives me a window into their past. I didn't grow up in the UK. I didn't grow up in Ireland or any of those territories in Europe and the EU. And there's so many games that people like see on these collections that at first glance, like we're doing right now, like we look at it and be like, oh, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. And then they come out and you play them and you're like, oh, wow, man, I wish people back then knew a little bit more about that here in North America, because maybe that game series would have been like the next big thing. Could there be alternate histories going on to shine a light on some of these games that are actually really cool? And like that would be neat, right? It'd be like really, really cool. So just to play devil's advocate, not trying to make anyone feel bad, I'm not trying to make anything do whatever, right? I did a little more research because I had no idea what this game was. None, zero, zilch. And now when I do news lines from now on, I'm going to dig deeper. I'm going to do more and more research about things as I react to whatever these titles are, so I can get a little more context as to like what is going on, because I was like blown away at the amount of information about this game series that I was able to find in just like a couple seconds. Just like looking around. And I'm like, wow, like where was this game? Like where did it go? But again, it's one of those games that was from that long forgotten past. You know, like the North Americans just didn't look at the series. It looks like, you know. So here I'm going to present the Amazon listing for the PlayStation 5 version, physical version of the first game remastered, right? So this just came out last year.
Yeah, it's on Steam too. Broken Sword Reforged, right?
And that's to Ed's point. That's what he was showing. You know, on Good Old Games that they're all on sale because that's what happens on Steam.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's necessarily a bad game, but being that there's all the releases and remasters, did we really need this for $30 for a physical copy?
Could you make that argument against like every
point.
other Evercade release?
Yeah, but here's the point. Here's the point, right? I scrolled down, right?
Yeah.
And there's this comment right here in the product description, right? They said, even still, the original release became an instant classic, having sold 500,000 copies on PlayStation alone, and was voted one of the best PlayStation games ever by the official PlayStation Magazine readers when they did their poll. Like,
we want
how does that game get on a list and here in North America we've never heard of it?
That's weird.
That's crazy, right?
Well, I've
Like,
heard of it.
I've heard of it.
Like,
It was a magazine probably not released here, and we didn't, you know.
I've
the
heard
official
of it.
PlayStation Magazine? I've read OPM back in the
Yeah, it
day.
used to come with demo.
I've read it too. I think it's released here.
I mean, and again, those are all subjective opinions, right?
Well, that's what I mean. What I mean
these
is
are all opinions. That
we
everyone,
don't know if that was like if that poll was in. I doubt those articles would have been in the U.S. They could have, but if this was like a British, but Rich, you do bring up a very good point. Like, I understand it is a love letter, and they're going to show their heritage, but there's more than gaming history than just like in Europe. Like, what about Japan? What about like something like Water Margin, which is translated?
Are you saying they're just supposed to forget about their own region? And
No,
just
what I'm saying is it's like Evercade is kind of starting to insist upon itself a little bit. And it's like, like
it always has.
And I mean, again, if Blaze if they want to be a small company and never reach high levels of success, that's fine. But if they want to branch out and have a good reputation, they should, you know.
I mean,
they should kind of appeal to more people. Like, again, I like Discovery, but I like good Discovery. And when you only have a cart with 2 games on it, it's kind of difficult for Discovery. Like, you want a cart with 10 games on it, or more like Pico.
well, but I think that's to Blaze's point. I think that's they're attempting to do the thing that is, it's a meme. It's a it's a cliche. But they are indeed having to, they're trying to have their retro cake and eat it too, right?
Yeah,
Like I love them for it. Like that's part of the reason why I'm excited. Like, that's why I collect this product. Like, if I was just getting like, okay, cool, here's the SNK, and then like my arcade, here's SNK, here's Pac-Man, here's Street Fighter, here's Mortal Kombat, here's all the Atari stuff. And here's some random things here and there, like Castlevania, Mega Man, that kind of thing, and then that's it. I'd be like, well, I've got that on my PlayStation and my Switch and that thing behind me and everywhere. Like, what forces me to get more games for this? What forces me to collect this? And it's because I can get collections for games I've never played ever and I've never heard about. And it's the same exact thing as the reason why I do all the content for Atari VCS as well, because there are game developers that are putting in effort to put out a product on a niche console. Like you're talking about the Evercade audience it dwarfs the VCS audience, right? But I love the VCS games because it's people just trying. They're just trying to just do something, right? And they put out their thing to a little audience, and we love them for it because we've got hardware that we just want games for, So like that's why that's what it is for me. But it's not for everyone, right? And everyone in the comments right here, it's like, hey, it's a point and click series, but people don't like point and click, period, right? There are people out there just like, oh, it's point and click, and they're just gonna write it off. But there are point and click fans that like they played the Sierra games, and then they played stuff like Fear Effect, and then they played like all sorts of other stuff, and they're like, oh man, like I need more, and they wind up finding Broken Sword, right? You know?
Those are all valid reasons of why you're into Evercade. I think it means different things to different people. For me, I do like the discovery, but I think lately what I like more is having like an officially licensed collectible physical media of like a collection or a cart or something, because like it's difficult to play like original carts like on modern like TVs and things, and it's expensive. So it kind of depends. But I like a balance of both. I just really feel like with last year they've gone more away from the nostalgia side and gone a little bit too far in discovery. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you're gonna wind up getting that nostalgia hit though. You're gonna get it when they do their showcase, which I'm imagining is going to be late February, early March.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And that's what I want to be clear. I think it's a bad game. I just think for like to start off I think even Indie Heroes 4 was just kind of like, I mean, that's per tradition, but that's even for to get people excited, that's even a weak start because we know all the games, right? That's kind of, you know what I mean? Like we know all the games. That's what I'm saying. It would have been if we got like something.
Well, what, like, for SNK?
Yeah, like it's because Blaze, like, you know, they sold the Evercade Alpha. Why wouldn't they just automatically start like with SNK at the beginning of the year? Like, is the licensing that all done? Is there something?
I think it's one of those things where it's my secret. My one pet peeve, like that's a consistent thread throughout all of Blaze, is that they call a year. Like, for example, we're in 2025, right? But Indie Heroes 4 and Broken Sword come out before the end of the fiscal year 2024. So in business world, they're 2024 games coming out in 2025, right? And I know they don't, like, they switched, because they used to include Indie Heroes 4 as February in their timeline, you know, their thing, and they don't do that anymore. You know, like, and it breaks my brain because technically the start of the year isn't until April 1st or March or end of March, because that's when like the actual year kicks off. So in my view, they're actually ending with the same thing they end with every year, which is Indie Heroes and some other cart. And then the announcement in February, March for the showcase, that's the start of their year. Like that's what's going to happen. Like it was like, oh, hey, we're kicking off the year. Here's SNK. Here's that thing we told you about. And then the rest of the year, we wait until June. And then there's going to be another announcement for stuff that's coming out in November. And then in the middle of the summer, we'll wind up getting, you know, one or two more carts that probably will be still part of that SNK deal. And my, you know, get a little Karnak hat on that I'm probably wrong about. But, you know, like there's that. Or maybe it'll be a cool surprise in the middle of summer. You know, that'd be kind of cool. So, but I mean, again, like it's regardless of whether or not you feel it's like the start of the year or the end of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, you know, it is what it is. So, but at least we know. Now we know. You know, and here's the best part. Here's the best part for everybody on the panel and everybody watching. Right? Here's the best part. If you want to send a message to Blaze to either do or not do these things, vote with the wallet.
Yeah.
That's how you send the signal. If this winds up being one of the best-selling carts of all time, they're going to keep doing it. Like, believe you me, we're going to get more Broken Swords. We're going to get more, niche stuff. We're going to get all that stuff if this really hits, right? But if it doesn't, then I doubt you see more of those experiments again.
No,
because, and that's their business, right? They got to keep rolling.
No, it makes 100%. No, but that's the whole thing I was saying is that 2 games for $30. That's a lot. That just 2 games for $30. Yeah. Like, unless you really like I kind of think of it almost as one game because it's a series. Like, unless you really love that game, that's a lot. That's $10 more than the price of
you have to vote with this.
Oh wow! Look at
damn, dude.
Whoa.
Sold a bunch of stuff. Oh yeah, I don't see as many pinballs back there.
You don't see it, but what?
You gotta vote with this fat stack.
Yeah.
Damn. Damn.
This is
the oddest flex I've ever seen.
Yeah. This is a discussion that never doesn't have any winners or losers because you can say the same argument about every collection. Somebody could come and say, why did they produce this? This is not worth $25.
Right.
30 Canadian. Why'd they produce this? This is hot garbage. Why aren't they producing broke? You can say that about everything. It's subjective.
Yeah.
It's just subjective. Don't get mad at what people say. Don't get insulted. Who gives a rat's ass?
Right?
But people
Like,
do
no
though.
one cares. No one cares.
Dude, I lost like 4 subs, and like this video was voted 65. That's what I mean. Apparently, like people got
Who
like
cares?
so mortally
Yeah.
You've got a
fucked.
job. You don't need to
That's
do
it.
this for a living.
Yeah,
I
that's the
know, I
beauty.
know.
That's the beauty of your channel, Ed.
That's
you know,
who
it's
cares,
your
man.
channel.
Like ultimately, if Blaze does Blaze, buy them or not. Like vote with your wallet. Like you don't have to buy these collections. Like if SNK comes out, like they come out with fighting games, I'm like gonna say I that's garbage to me because I don't like fighting games unless it's Tekken, Mortal Kombat, or Street Fighter. You can keep your fighting games. I don't want anything to do with them. But other people will love them, and I'm like, no, good for you. You're getting what you want. Same as this Broken Sword, same as Full Void, same as whatever.
Exactly.
Who cares? I don't care.
At
don't-
least you know, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, live I do. Yeah, because we haven't had anything, and that's what. That speaks a little bit for itself sometimes. That's why I jokingly say. But so speaking of what people want, we can get into the polls, and maybe we can talk some Sydney Hunter
Polls.
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 So that's why I asked people what they're, and it's weird. I don't know if it was just that only limited me to 4 choices, usually 5. What genre you're looking forward to on Evercade? It's platformers, running guns, RPG, puzzles, beat 'em up, shoot 'em ups. I don't care. Just give me Neo Geo, and that was tied with RPGs and puzzles, which I thought those would be the 2 highest.
Yeah, I thought that those were going to be the same too, and as well. And I'm glad to see that RPGs and puzzles are up there because I would like some more of those, please.
Where's racing games?
Yeah, you can see by this. You can see that this poll, majority of your audience, they don't think SNK is in last place. If you add up all the other types of genres, SNK falls to beat So most people on your channel are more interested in everything else but SNK.
It's tied for first, 28%.
No, but you add up the other genres. You got platformers, RPGs, and beat 'em ups. They're all, if you put those all outside
you gotta look
of
at it this
SNK.
way: 28% voted for Neo Geo, but 72% didn't.
That's what I'm saying. So
Oh, yeah.
That tells you your community right there.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't assume they all. That tells you right there. Everybody watch your content because people who do community polls are your dedicated base of people who watch your videos. That's a YouTube proven thing. So yeah, 72% of your people don't really care about SNK.
Well, I wouldn't say that. You can manipulate the numbers any way that you want, but I just said, what are you looking?
That's math.
No, but like 70. No, but like I said, what are you looking forward to? That doesn't mean they don't like Neo Geo. They're like, oh, we need more RPG and puzzles, which I hear that a lot.
That's what I mean. They're telling you 72% of your people wants everything. They're looking forward more to other things than SNK. That's math.
If you combine them together, sure. But
No.
I could say if I added 100, if I added 1,000 numbers to that, then Neo Geo would be higher. But that's like, or I didn't say like, are you guys looking forward to SNK? Yes or no? I would just say like, which one of these? So like, it's pretty.
Yeah. Well, maybe that should be the next poll.
Yeah.
Maybe that should be the next poll.
It should be.
Wait. You didn't wait. What? Because your poll actually says which one are you looking most forward to.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say like, do you like this genre better? But no, there's a reason that I didn't. Well, there wasn't room for racing and sports because I got a few comments, but I'm like, there really isn't much. Like, we're not going to get the bangers for racing and sports because of licenses. And so like that would have been
plenty of sports games you don't need licenses for.
Baseball Simulator 3000.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like, actually Neo Geo does have Neo Geo does have some good ones, but like the good ones though, like NBA Jam, Mutant League Hockey, the ones on
Mutant League
Genejoke.
Hockey. There's no licenses with Mutant League Hockey.
I think EA owns that though, like some.
Yeah.
They own the name.
That would be licensing. But like NBA Jam, like that would be, licensing.
Like, were there real mutants that I was unaware of playing football or hockey?
You'd be surprised.
There's some aliens playing football right now.
There's some guys that are 6'8" and drop the gloves. So.
But I left that off. No, but like we could go into a whole separate. But Neo Geo, it depends on like if the culture of gaming you grew up with was more majority of like of computers over consoles. Like I get that, and they didn't have the crash, so it's there's a whole like nostalgia. like not own, like the whole nostalgia about the Neo Geo is not not being able to own it, but wanting to own it. That's how like what people have nostalgia for. Unless you're just one of those rich kids, like I was magically lucky.
Yeah, and the only thing that excites me about Neo Geo is if we get the sports games and the Metal Slug games. Everything else they can keep that. Like I don't want a fighting game. I don't want King of Fighters. I don't want if I'm gonna play those games.
Oh,
like
man, if they're gonna
just
give
don't
us
want-
Neo
Yeah,
Geo, they're gonna
you'd be in
give
the.
us
I mean, that's
King
fine.
of-
You'd be in the minority. I mean, they're known for their fighting games, but we can't just have fighting game collections.
Well, I
Like,
don't
they've
want
got-
any of them. But then
Yeah.
again, that's me. But I don't criticize Evercade for it. Like I just say,
You should though.
what? No,
You
I
should
don't.
though.
I don't want to criticize them. I could give a rat's ass what they do.
I wonder how much flack they would get if they released
Yeah.
a whole bunch of Neo Geo collections, but there was not one fighting game in them.
Yeah, or not one, or the reverse, and not one Metal Slug.
Yeah,
Right?
Oh, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
That would-
I want them to
Because I
just release the
guarantee you-
baseball stars. One collection is just baseball stars. And
Yeah,
I'll be
because
like,
I can guarantee you that people voted in that poll for the running gun that said I'm looking most forward to Metal Slug, and don't necessarily carry a lot of weight for the SNK license. They
Yeah.
they wanted to get to Metal Slug, and they voted in the running gun category because they
Yeah.
wanted Metal Slug.
I have no idea. I don't just presume to get in people's minds, especially.
Oh, of
on
course,
this
yeah.
channel.
But it's it's fun. It's fun to mess around with that kind of stuff. But I would say people are probably excited for that particular title.
People are saying, tons of people are saying,
Yeah,
go down a dangerous slope.
of course. But anyway, it's fun. It's fun times.
Exactly. No, that's what it's. People like. It's fun to get in the minds of people and have speculation and all that.
Yeah. So now what?
But do we want to dive in at least to like a Sydney Hunter game?
Yeah,
Or do we
let's
want-
do it.
Yeah, we can do that.
Do you want we'll pick one of the actual like Sydney Hunter games because there's the one.
Yeah.
One-
Well,
'Cause there's
what I
Chester in there.
usually do when I play these games, I play them in chronological order. So do you want to know which one came out first?
Oh, which one
Average.
came out first?
I think it's
Yeah.
the Super Nintendo one.
Let's see.
I think that's the one I.
Super Nintendo one.
Caverns of Death?
It was Shrines of Peril from the Intellivision one from 2014.
The Intellivision one, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that probably makes sense. Yeah.
You want to do that one first?
Although it's not even the first Sydney Hunter game. They didn't give us all the.
Do we
Sydney
really want to
Hunter
debate
games.
about which one we want to do first?
It doesn't.
Oh, we can. We can do. Do you want me to do the Intellivision one?
It doesn't matter to me.
It's very because that one's very different than the others.
Yeah, that one's limited by its technology, but it's still, I
Yeah.
think, not. It's probably more fun than a few of the others, in my opinion. But
It was Sydney Hunter is a Smurf.
yeah,
Exactly.
Sydney
well, they
Hunter's
used the Smurf engine, didn't they?
I don't know.
I think
well,
they kind of
that
backward.
Smurf game was on the ColecoVision. I don't think it was ever on a television.
No, I think what they did to look at the design, and because there was a Smurf game coming out for the Intellivision and got redone as a different game.
There we
I
go.
like this
Okay.
version of it. This is one of my favorites of the versions on there because it's pretty straightforward. It plays more of a platformer game. I just liked it. I just thought it played really good. Yeah, I probably played this
Okay.
game more than the rest.
Did you
I
beat
gave
the first
this-
level?
Yes.
Because this was the most frustrating part here, like having to. Oh my god.
Yeah,
You
this
have to,
is part of the problem is that your timing with that jump has to be just right.
Perfect.
Even
Yeah.
though it doesn't,
Yes.
even though sometimes it doesn't make sense,
Mm.
like why you wouldn't have made that jump.
Yeah.
I gave this a 6 out of 10 just because of It's
I think that's
okay.
fair.
It's okay, but it's
Yeah.
it's just very very repetitive. It's the same.
I
thing.
probably would have gave it a 5.5. Just because I played it more than the rest, it doesn't mean it's good. I'd probably say it's average, so it's 5 out of 10. That's average. So
Yeah.
This,
Well, actually, when I give something a 5 out of 10, it just means I didn't like it and I didn't.
Yeah, it
didn't
all
like
depends,
it, and
right?
it was in the middle. Like I neither liked it nor disliked it. But I kind of did like this, so I gave it a 6 out of 10.
yeah,
This
So
one I
I'd say
thought they,
for me 5 is average because that's out of a 10 scale. Like that's an average because it is literally mathematically average.
this one I just thought they kind of ripped off.
It's actually not because a 5 out of 10 on a scale from 1 to 10 is slightly lower than half.
How do
No,
you
I was
feel?
gonna say I don't
Because
like
you're not starting at 0, you're starting at 1. 1, 2.
I was
Oh,
gonna
I
say,
get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
because like,
Yeah,
I feel
makes
like
sense.
numbers don't like mean anything. Like if you like the game, I mean you can, but I think like kind of giving personal emotion. But to me though, it feels like they just kind of ripped off the Smurfs and they skinned it. Like this doesn't feel like a Sydney Hunter game.
I know they did that because I know
Yeah.
that
So that's
when
why
this
it's
was
like-
being developed, I was like, I'm in the television community. Like when that was being developed, I think they were inspired by the Smurf. The original Smurf was supposed to come out on television, but got canceled
Is that what it
or they
was?
lost the license. But yeah,
Yeah, that kind of makes sense since the
this
Smurfs
was a
didn't
ROM
make it
hack,
into
I think,
PlayStation.
and then they recoded it. But
Yeah.
but I
'cause
like
feel
it. I like when they take Intellivision games and make them more playable with like one button because Intellivision controller is notoriously bad. But yeah. Plus, this came on my Phoenix, so I had all the Sydney Unders on my ColecoVision Phoenix, so I played a lot of this. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, it makes sense for Collector Vision to put all their games on there, so they're on
Yeah.
console, right?
Yeah, I love my
Well,
Phoenix.
yeah, it totally makes sense. Why it wasn't called the Sydney Hunter experience? The
Yeah.
console. So
What
I
did
was
the chat
thinking,
say? The fact that we
kinda-
got these on the Evercade's a big deal because, like,
I gotta
you know,
have some PTSD with this game. Like I don't know if y'all remember like playing Smurfs
Oh.
back in the day and being incredibly frustrated. So that's
there's a lot of games that incredibly frustrated me back in the day that were classics, like Ninja Gaiden frustrated the shit out of me. I'm not saying this is Ninja Gaiden or Contra, but yeah, this one is. Any game on the Intellivision can be frustrating to people who are used to Ataris and NES games. Just like
Well, it's because of the bad controls, right? The precise jumping, and that's
they could have patched that and made that better. I don't know why they didn't do that before. Like that ROM should have been patched for that.
Yeah.
what's this skeleton arm just sticking out of the ground? That Gravedigger did a really bad job.
No, because it was floods and rains.
And the skeleton just happened to be like,
Yeah, man, come on. But yeah,
I don't like this sometimes. Like
you must have played this game a bit, Rich. You're
Yeah.
big in television, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't like the fact that the some of the placements of the jumps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
cheap, eh?
it is a little bit because like it's like, oh well, you're not going to make this jump, so like, oh well, then what do you do? You know?
what? I can't quite remember
Save state.
the whole. Wasn't the whole double jump? You jump and jump again, and it was a different type of jump. I can't quite remember. It's been a long time since I played this.
Yeah, I haven't played it in probably a
So
year.
it was like jump, 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 and he would have a different type of arc if you double jumped.
Yeah.
So that was part of it. It wasn't just. It's not as simple as just running and jumping. There is a little bit more nuance to it.
Mhm.
it looks good though for an Intellivision game. Like seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I will say for sure.
I mean, they definitely did a pretty bang up job there. I mean, let's be honest, Intellivision is just one step ahead of the Atari for a lot of games, right?
But the thing is, though, we were playing on this at Evercade with either a joystick or a D-pad. Could you imagine playing this with the Intellivision controller?
I have because my Phoenix is.
Oh yeah, you would have.
Yeah,
played
the
it.
Phoenix
So-
has a Intellivision controller
so
plug-in,
is
but
it
it also has the port for an SC and NES, so I use the Intellivision controller to go through the menus. Just so it's easier. And
So
then I
you don't
use
even play this with the disc.
No, I use SNES. I tried it a few times with the Intellivision. The buttons are too squishy on the Intellivision. It's a horribly designed input system.
Oh, I didn't know that. Small jumps get you more points.
Yeah.
I always, what kind of threw me off is like when you walk into the side of a cliff and then you just die.
Why didn't you just save state right before that jump and just keep trying it?
Because I edited all the save states.
I'm
out.
literally doing that right now.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do.
Oh,
You do realize that I probably save stated before every screen,
Yeah, I know.
and I just edited it all out.
See, if a game is difficult because it's difficult, that's fine. But if it's difficult because of like bad hitboxes or controls, then it's extremely frustrating.
Dude,
Well, you
that's
gotta
like a
realize that this is-
million games.
Yeah, and you got to realize that this isn't really meant for you to beat. You're just going for a high score.
Yeah.
it's short jump and then long jump.
Short jump and then long jump. Okay.
You got it, Rich. You got it, buddy.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
music is so cool. Like this is what
Yeah.
retro gaming is all about, right? You hear that music, like
Yeah,
that's so
it's
awesome.
neat. I like it a
Wow,
lot.
this is an old video of mine. Why am I not using the grid background?
I don't know, dude.
I must have changed it for like.
Aw.
You normally have the grid background on my videos.
Cool.
Must have been trying something different.
All right. I guess we can move on to the next game. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to talk about this one. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just, it is. I think was a throw-in.
Is
but
there-
I'm glad they did.
Is there an end,
no,
or is this a loop?
it's
I've
just,
never
it's just
finished
gonna
it.
keep going forever. There's
Yeah,
no
it's
end.
just an endless runner.
Okay.
I think I got tired of playing. I think I was walking into the thing on purpose.
Okay, which one's this, Ed?
This looks like the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Woo!
Sorry about that.
Yeah, easy
The
on the volume there.
caverns
My
of
kids are
death.
still asleep. What the hell, man? Let my kids sleep. It's Saturday. I don't need them up right now.
We could wear headphones.
No, I don't. I don't because my hearing aids. I can't use that. So it hurts my
Oh,
ears.
okay.
So you guys are really loud. You can hear Ed's voice all over the house.
I will say, well, this isn't my favorite one in the collection. I think this version was really good. Like, this is what I was expecting.
I actually
Yeah.
put this as my favorite on the collection.
I have this one physical, like the Super NES physical version of this. Man, I wish I could grab it. It's somewhere here. But I have the physical version because I bought this when it first came out. Like, so it's a great game. It's a little, I think, not balanced properly. And I think even Gamester81 said that he was never happy with the full balance of this game because I find sometimes it just the balance is all over the place.
This the only Sidney Hunter game in this collection where you actually have a weapon
Yep.
to attack
Yeah.
with.
And that
I
was
think
the,
that might,
that was the
and I think that might
criticism.
be why I put this as my number one,
Yeah.
even though I still gave it a 7 out of 10.
This one was the one that I think they had some criticism, and they wanted to make this more action and accessible and stuff. I just find the balance and sometimes a little off on this one, but I really enjoyed it. Everything's great in this game. I think if this came out on the Super Nintendo at the time, it's probably a 9 out of 10 game.
I doubt. I would disagree. I don't think it.
Put it in its context, right? Like there was nothing really like this one, like an Indiana Jones spoof. Then that's just my opinion. I
Well,
think-
there was the Indiana Jones collection game.
dude, it was awful. There hasn't
I
been a
think
good
I'd
Indiana
rather play
Jones
that.
game. There's been very few good Indiana Jones game, and I just finished one over the holidays, which is probably one of the game of the year for me for this year, even though it came out last year. But there's been very few great. There's the Xbox version one is pretty damn good, but yeah, that license needs more love.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't played it, like the Indiana Jones Super Nintendo one a whole lot. I have played it, but to be honest, if I was just given
It's not
an
great,
option,
bro.
I think I'd play it. I don't think this is that great either. I gave it a 7 out of 10, which I said
That's
is
pretty
Yeah.
good on your scale,
It's
though.
good, not great. That's
the lack
I
of variety.
think
This-
it's
and
higher
then-
than that for me.
Yeah, it's okay. That's why I said it's not my favorite, but it was okay.
I like it. I really like it. And this game came out on more than the Super Nintendo. I think they might have ported this to the Genesis too. I'm not sure.
oh yeah.
Yep.
Did it really? Because I know
I'm not
it
sure.
seems like
I'm
every
not sure. I don't
platform
really
got its own-
follow. Like I think it
every
got ported.
Sidney
Better
Hunter
fact check
got
it,
its. I think every platform got its own Sidney Hunter game, but I think
Yeah,
they each got their own different Sidney
a different
Hunter
one.
game.
Yeah, but they're all slightly the same. Yeah, but yeah, this is a good one. Like I don't think you can go bad with this collection. Like it's one for me. If I ever had to rank all the 30 something collections we have out, this one's in the topper levels, like the top 10% for me for people.
So let me just say, this was an example of like a collection that was all pure discovery, something that I'd never played before. It was one game, but because of the variety, I really enjoyed this. So just kind of going back to Broken Sword, that
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. This collection as a whole, I think, is the second worst Evercade collection.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Damn.
there's only one collection I ranked lower than this one. as a
Worms?
whole.
Worms?
Oh no, that's an A.
Worms.
That's an A.
Really?
That is-
Yeah.
Only one collection worse
That
than yours?
collection.
yes, and it should be pretty easy to figure out which one it is.
with you, I have no idea.
Ed, which collection do you think is the worst Evercade collection?
The worst. All the blue cards. I don't know. It's different.
It's
Gremlin?
not a blue card. What? Which one did you say?
Gremlin, maybe?
You're right. It is Gremlin.
Okay. Wow.
Nice.
Some you've ever
Hard
said
man,
I-
please.
There's only 3 carts I gave a ranking of F2, and this is one of them.
Worst value cart, you can beat everything in 4 hours. True, but I mean, then you got Full Void, right? Which is 45 minutes to an hour. Right.
I
So,
gave-
Gene,
I
That's
gave
a good
I gave Full Void a D.
yeah, like that's what I'm saying, right? Like I mean,
Full Void is the 4th worst cart on the Evercade.
Ouch.
yeah, Crow's. Yeah, but
Yeah,
Crow's always
he
had a
doesn't know
different
the rules.
parameter for games. So again, that's just his opinion.
Yep, I'm not saying this is like, yeah, I'm not saying obviously everybody agrees with me. It's just what I'm saying.
Yeah, cool.
Well, it's fun. Like for me though, that is value. Like and maybe that's something that I do hold against like a play and click adventure. I'm like, I don't have the time to spend the 20 or I don't know how many hours it takes to beat it. So it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for longer games or shorter games.
Oh yeah, Iron Arcade 1 is great. Yeah, I find it's funny though. The collections I go back to the most are the arcade collections. That's funny. And then the Namco collections, I love those.
Well,
Especially
I
now
don't
that I
really.
can play them on the Ultra.
To me, it's not really an issue if a game is short and you could beat it really quickly, or if it takes a really long time. It's really how much fun you have playing it. And if a game is short and you think it's still fun, that means you're just going to go back and play it again anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, that's kind of the point I was trying to illustrate earlier with like some of those like Namco's, some of those classic games. Like you can always go back to them and you get like a lot. I think you get like a lot of like value and nostalgia, everything out of them.
Cool.
Well, my argument, like I could kind of complain about the Namco collections, especially Namco 1, seeing as how they're not the versions of the games I'd rather be playing. You know?
Yes, they should be arcade. Like... Yeah. So we could save.
And also, it's not
I
like
grew up with the Namcos on. I did play them in arcade, but majority of the time I did play them. They were the console versions because who could afford to play Dig Dug all the time at arcade back in the 80s, right? Like,
but,
so
yeah,
my nostalgia overwhelms the quality there, and I prefer the console versions.
Yeah, back then you couldn't, but now it's like it's just as easy to play the arcade.
But that's nostalgia, man. That nostalgia in our kind of like retro gaming dictates purchases more than you think for a lot of people.
But yeah, I guess it depends though. It's like if you really liked Dig Dug in the arcade back then, you would buy the NES version of Dig Dug, for example.
That's what I did.
Be happy with it. But this day, if you still really like the arcade version of Dig Dug, I guess you could sometimes go back and play the NES.
Yeah, I just go to the arcade near my house that I go and play, but I still prefer it's funny, like I prefer the Atari version of Asteroids over the Asteroids arcade game.
Yep.
I actually prefer the arcade version, to be honest. Ever since I realized that one day I realized that all the asteroids were floating up and down vertically and not really horizontally, it kind of ruined it for me.
But I didn't really care. But the same as Space Invaders. I prefer the Atari version.
That I could see, because that it was like with Asteroids, the Atari version was the first version I played, but I prefer the arcade version.
You don't know how many quarters I spent trying to get past the first screen in Space Invaders, but when I got it on Atari, I'm like, this is awesome.
See, isn't that amazing? Like that's what I mean. Like the classic games.
I will say with the 2600 version of with Space Invaders, you have a whole bunch of different variety to choose from. You can have barriers, not barriers. You can have the shots move with you. They can have there's so many different game variations you could do with the game.
And the first Space Invaders didn't have color, right? It was an overlay.
Yes, it was over. Well, it didn't have color. It just had like that background.
Yeah, the background.
Then they introduced color by having.
And that's why same as Asteroids didn't have color. But when I come on the Atari, I'm like, oh wow, this is so cool. Like there was something about you thinking it was an evolution of the game, but it truly wasn't. Color. And that was a lot of those games back in the day, right? Like I played the black and white version of them. I'm that old. But that's why Atari games was such a big thing for me, is because they took them home. They might not at all look as good, but they had color, and it was like, wow, that popped, right? There's something to be said as someone who grew up watching TV and playing video games on black and white, which I did. My formative years in gaming, like from 6 to 9, it was all black and white. My NES was even hooked up to a black and white TV until my parents got me a color TV in the mid 80s for my room. Like, because God forbid I'd hook up my NES to the living room TV and interrupt news. So I had a little shitty black and white TV, right? So, those are real things, right? So and I am of that age group that buy a lot of this stuff. Anyway, little trip down nostalgia lane.
No, all good stuff. Like I was enjoying the Game Boy version of Pac-Man. I mean, so
Dude, Game Boy. I never had a Game Boy, but that's like I only played it later in life, like when I was a guard at a prison, and that's how I got introduced to Tetris, and it's still my favorite version of Tetris is the Game Boy version, because that was the only game they had in the Game Boy, and I'm like, that's like I'm not a big Tetris fan, but I'm a big Game Boy Tetris fan, and that little green light staring at it.
Green light. Wasn't that a red light?
No, it was the background color of the Game Boy was like green, right?
Yeah,
It was green, but it wasn't lit.
Green.
No, yeah, but it looked green. The original Game Boy
green.
had this green tint to it, right?
It was a green tint. You said light, and it kind of threw me off.
Yeah. Well, not easy to throw you off there, Crow. Probably thinking how you're going to spend all that money.
Good. I'm glad we equally spread the love.
All right. Okay, I think we're done talking about this game. I like it. I love it, actually.
I think my disappointment was that it wasn't as action focused as I would hope.
I don't mind that at all, to be honest with you, because my action games on the SNES and NES was Contra. Like that's like or that what's the one, the swamp one, Billy? I forget what it's called.
Oh, Adventures of Bayou Billy.
Adventures of Bayou Billy. That was a joke. I think that was a cruel joke. My older brother bought that game for me, but I think it was a cruel joke. He just wanted to see me frustrated and how difficult that game was.
Well, they made it that frustrating so you couldn't just beat it when you rented it.
My cousin beat it. Came down to my house and beat it because he's like a savant in video games.
But
and Steve, if you're watching, don't think let that go to your head. But he's like, he used to finish games for me. I get frustrated.
Did he beat it in like the first 24 hours he started playing it?
He could beat any game within anything. He can pick up any game. I was struggling with a boss in Wukong on my Steam Deck because of some input lag, and he was visiting, and I just handed him control, and he finished it first try, and I had failed so many times, and he never played the game before.
I wish I could go back to those reflexes.
Yeah, but he has to keep him because he's a high surgeon. So like
there you go.
Oh, there you go.
And it's been proven scientifically that people who play high reflex video games are better doctors.
I should have been a doctor when I was younger. Anyways,
no, you shouldn't have. You'd be arguing with your patient.
You also have to be smart enough to know what you're doing. Just have the quick reflexes.
I'd be the worst doctor. I'd be in there doing stuff, and I'm like, that's good enough.
That's good enough.
Right. Do we want to save the last?
It's like you go to introduce yourself. Yeah, I'll be performing the surgery. Don't worry, I'm the fastest in the West.
Yeah.
No, seriously, that is one thing that's been more difficult for me to come to grips as an adult. Is I was like all the Nintendo games, sometimes it'd be frustrating, but could beat them. And like when people said like Ninja Gaiden was challenging, I don't remember that as a kid. And then going back and playing it now, I'm like,
oh yeah, same as me. Like I remember challenging a bit as a kid, but I didn't have like once I figured out the jump sequence in that one level, I figured it out. And everybody's a much better gamer when they're a kid, I think, because you have nothing else to do.
Right? Exactly. We had the time. We had the reflexes, and then we didn't have the cash that we do now. So, yeah.
Right.
I couldn't tell you how many times I played through that speeder bike level in Battletoads.
Oh, God, I hated Battletoads. I hated Battletoads. I love my favorite Battletoads games is Double Dragon Battletoads because it's easier. And Double Dragon.
I got that game for my birthday once, and I never stopped playing it.
Well, Double Dragon took the combat from Battletoads because combat in Battletoads was always far superior, I found, than Double Dragon. So they put a Double Dragon Battletoads together, but they didn't use the Double Dragon combat, so they put the Battletoad combat in there. So it makes the game so much fun for Double Dragon.
The thing about that, I kept coming back to it. People got frustrated with that speeder bike level I found, but I loved that part of the game so much that I would play it. I played it so much that even to this day I could play through it no problem.
Yeah,
it's one of my things in my collection. I love.
Nice.
It's so good.
I like watching people that are way better than me at both of those games.
Oh, I'm not good at this game.
So like, I'll watch Arcus.
Man, look how clean
on Twitch because he'll put that in his Arcathlon like. and I play it like I don't know twice a quarter, and it's just so fun to just watch him. He'll just like beat the entire game in under 40 minutes or something like that, and you're like, okay, thanks.
Near the curtain.
I'm never doing that.
Look how clean this is, man. It's so clean.
Although he did teach me how to play Ninja Gaiden. I can get way further in Ninja Gaiden than ever before.
I prefer Ninja Gaiden than Contra.
Since we're speaking of like difficulty, I don't know if you guys remember, but like when the Super Nintendo came out, I listened to me and my group of friends. One criticism, we were like, "Man, these games are a lot easier," even though they were still like challenging. I can remember them like being easier, like the latest like Super Castlevania and even the latest Contra. But I've gone back, latest Contra is still difficult. Yeah, like the third Zelda, which is awesome. Like that was like easier than like the first two. But I think that's when Nintendo slowly started to make their games a little bit easier. But now they're still challenging. But
have you beaten Pilot Wings?
That's hard.
Oh,
that was the game I probably played the most on Super Nintendo.
In the first level of Pilot Wings, I always fail. Like a first landing, I'm like, eh.
I ran into a brick wall when I got to the first mission where you had the helicopter and you had to fly under the radar and make fire on the targets or whatever.
Yeah. Good times.
Good times.
Are we doing
like,
other
man,
two
this
games?
isn't Pilot Wings. I thought I would just fly around and have fun. Now I'm in a
Oh
war
my
zone?
God.
What is this?
I would pay money to see Ed play Demon Souls.
you
I
would.
think he would like explode his room. He would destroy everything.
Is it playable on Steam Deck? Steam Deck?
Yeah, 100%. It's verified on Steam Deck.
Gift me a copy and I'll play it.
Dude, it is like literally. I would love to watch you play that.
Yeah, I might have to
I
do
think you would lose your complete mind playing that game. You would lose your mind, and it would humble you as a gamer so much. Because I remember the first time I played it, thinking it was a hack and slash, which it is, and I thought it was just a pure hack and slash. I got so mad at it, I gave it to my wife, and she 100%ed it. And I tried to play Demon Souls so many times. I did play Dark Souls, and then I kind of realized what the game was and understood the mechanic. And in Elden Ring, I finished Elden Ring 4 times, and I won't get into why I'm not playing the expansions or anything. But Demon Souls will humble you as a gamer, but also piss you off because it cheats you a lot, I think, combat-wise. But yeah. Next time it's on sale, Rich, we should figure out how to get a copy to Ed.
Yeah.
And you have to play it, and you can't do it. Only way we gift it to you, you can't go, a minute in and quit it and say it's the worst game ever. You have to play at least 10 hours of it.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. It's the Commodore 64 game.
Yeah. And then just to put a little.
Like at a session, I will on a session, I would at least play it for like a solid hour to give it, to give.
Let me just see where Demon Souls is at on the.
I think it is playable on Steam Deck, but yeah, I was like,
yeah, I play it on Steam Deck. Well, I try to.
Yeah.
Those seem
as long as
I'd be interested in.
I'm not sure actually. I thought it was on.
Yeah, I thought it was like it's a PlayStation title because
I thought it was
from.
Yeah, I thought it was on. Maybe it was.
Oh, you can do it on. You can do it on which one?
Search for Demon Souls. Yeah.
Oh, Demon Souls is coming out next year on PC.
Yeah. Okay. What about Dark Souls? Is Dark Souls on there? Because that's probably an easier.
That's probably what it. Yeah.
No,
yeah, Dark Souls. I'm thinking about. We should get him Dark Souls.
Yeah, there's Dark Souls. There's plenty of Dark Souls 1, 2,
we gotta
3.
wait till next year.
We can get him Dark Souls remastered.
Yeah,
that would be good for him.
Isn't that like the same type of game?
I have to move that in this room.
We should get him Dark Souls. Because I think Demon Souls might be too much for him, but at least Dark Souls really a different beast. It
is a different game.
They just changed the name. Demon Souls, they only made one Demon Souls, but Dark Souls the same universe. I think it's the same universe. Somebody will correct me.
They have Dark Souls. Dark Souls
because I like Dark Souls better than Demon Souls. Because I got Dark Souls 3 on my Switch. I almost finished it on my Switch, and I liked it. So I've never played Dark Souls 2. I don't think I played Dark Souls 3. Oh, wait, what's on Switch? Is it Dark Souls 3 on Switch? I forget which one. Anyway, yes, we should do that, Rich. When we go on sale for the Steam sale, one of us will gift it to.
All right.
Isn't Elden Ring the same type of game?
Yeah, Elden Ring is different though because the other games don't let you. The Elden Rings games, the other Dark Souls don't let you. They put bosses and blocks your progress, and you can't necessarily grind your out level the bosses. They have a problem with that, so you have to be good. Whereas Elden Rings, if you run into a problem with a boss, you can go explore a lot of different areas and do different things in Discovery. Level your character up to level the boss, or even above them, and it gives you actually a fighting chance to kind of take them down. But on my experience in Elden Rings, I kind of could take them down after about a level, sometimes under level, because I started getting really good at it with my Blood Samurai. But a lot of people will go 5 levels above. But it means grinding a lot of stuff and souls and stuff like that, and then going back. So that's why Elden Ring took off in popularity. It was very accessible that way. So it allowed you to go and discover and then fight the boss on your own terms. So that's the beauty of Elden Ring. That made probably the franchise. It's probably the best selling in the franchise.
I played the Potty Night Saga. No, but seriously though, if somebody does get me Dark,
don't even go near. You can't.
I'll create a stream and call it Dark Souls stream, and you can all watch me suffer. But all these are playable on Steam Deck. But yeah, being that this game is $60, it's never anything I would buy myself. Even if
you'll never get big prices on it. They'll go down by 25%.
Yeah,
sometimes. But yeah.
Listen, if somebody gives it to me, I'll dedicate a stream to it and I'll play it for.
Actually, Rick, we should probably get it. We can get a copy on PlayStation. You got a PlayStation 4? Can you stream your PlayStation 4?
That's a good question.
Because they're like $5 on PlayStation 4.
I'd have to move it in here. That's too much work. Because I'd have to move it in here, log in online, have to friend somebody to gift it.
Might be worth it, dude. You get enough people watching the stream, and they give you enough.
There you go. Yeah, but when it's time for Demon Souls, if you need any help, a little bit.
Is it easy to gift games on PlayStation? I haven't messed with it.
I don't know. I mean, we could try to figure it out.
Yeah.
But if you needed any help with Demon Souls, a little bit of a humble brag, but
I picked up Demon Souls 2.
I would be able to help you.
Sweet. Yeah, Mickey. No, I'm serious. If somebody gives it to, I will dedicate. You can all watch me suffer playing it. I will not go back on my word.
That right there is my crowning gaming achievement.
Damn, dude.
Nice.
If it is easy to give stuff, yes, I do.
It was ridiculous. It was so hard. So, anyway.
Yeah, no. If it's easy to do that, no, I promise. I'll dedicate I'll call it Dark Souls and watch me suffer playing it. Like I would.
Yeah, they don't go on sale that often in North America, so you're lucky to get it for like $10 over in England. Like usually they don't, from software, right? They don't need to put their games on sale.
No, yeah, I mean they get enough. Yeah, they get enough cachet now where they just be like, yeah, just go get our games.
How much space does that game take up to install?
Dark Souls? It depends on the PlayStation 4, like 30 gigs, 25, 30 gigs.
No, I've got
100 gigs. Was like 100 gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, they weren't exactly bad times, but they were frustrating times. That's
I don't know. Frustrating times, even in Elden Ring. It's funny, in Elden Ring, the end boss was easier than one of the sub bosses. Millennia took me forever. I think I died on Millennia like 130 times before I took her down. Yeah. And then the community started talking about the person that solos Millennia for you comes in and helps you. Yeah, I didn't know that person existed. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I wasted like 6 hours trying to defeat you.
Yeah.
Because I had the Blood Samurai, which meant for a lot of bosses, I could 3-hit them and they bleed out. But I couldn't get close to Millennia enough to get in. Every time I got close, she 1-hit me. And I couldn't get close to get 2 strikes in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Until I figured out the mechanic or movement mechanic and the management and stuff. And oh my gosh. Yeah, wasn't Wolfie, wasn't that proven to be false? The person who beat Dark Souls with a Guitar Hero controller? Wasn't that fake news? I don't know. I thought it was.
Or it could have been somebody who just stitched things. There are a lot of speedrunners who do cheat, so maybe.
Yeah, they do some wild things with it.
Yeah.
So.
Very cool.
Yep. But anyway.
Yeah.
This is fun times. So yeah, we have homework. The homework is try to figure out a way to force Ed to play Dark Souls.
Yeah, I'll do it.
We'll gift it to you
when it comes out.
If we don't, I'm waiting for it to go on sale. So
Yeah. I just think just put your money where your mouth is. And you said I would pay it. Well, I'm like, well, what's it worth it to you for me to? I will
Not 50
torture
bucks is
myself.
not.
Exactly. I'll torture you all if it makes everybody happy, or torture myself to make.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Imagine if he starts playing and he's good at it. That would piss off everyone.
That'd be funny. I doubt
That'd be
hit,
awesome.
but I'll take it. I'd take it seriously.
There's so many people.
I'd rather torture Ed by making him play street sports soccer for 2 hours.
Oh God.
God.
Why is there no YouTube channel dedicated to torturing the host by making them play games they know they really?
I'm sure there are. I'm sure there
has
are.
to
We
be,
just,
right?
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right, friends. I gotta go get my oldest actually.
Yeah. No, I got.
List him off on adventures.
Anybody want to plug anything before we all have that?
I just got news that update 1.1.3 is available for Polymega. So I'll likely be doing a video covering the update.
I'll watch that before I update it. I'll let you go through the update before I do it.
Yep, I already went to 3.2, so I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna keep going.
My controller finally, my A button sticks constantly on my controller.
Oh no!
I got to get a new controller.
Well, the new one is good though. I like the new one.
Yeah.
The new.
I was playing Yeez.
Controller?
I was playing their Yeez Origin, Yeez Wanderers from Yeez.
Yeah.
These three, and that's all you do is just auto it, and it keeps sticking at me. So I had to switch out my controller to my SNES controller for it.
Oh wow, that's pretty wild.
Thank you for coming in here at the end.
Yeah.
I put up 2 videos last 2 days, which is shocking, I know, but Total Plan's up. Go check that out. I think it's really cool. And then I put up Age of Water. If you like kind of a game in which the whole world's covered with water and then you got to build a boat and fight pirates, it's probably the most accessible crafting open world game I've ever played. It's $20. Age of Water. Check out my video, see if you like it. I can't stop playing it. I was playing it before the show. I'll probably play it again today. It is so freaking much fun to play it, and it's $20 Canadian, so it's like $10 American right now, and it's 50% off for the next couple weeks. It's called Age of Water. It is so awesome. Watch my video first if you see if you're gonna like it, but it's unbelievably fun, like arcadey fun game. So anyway, that's it.
Sweet.
Cool. Well, I'll be streaming tonight at like 9 p.m. Central, maybe earlier.
That Broken Sword. We should come in and troll them. Hey, Broken Sword, let's talk about that.
Go for it.
What are you playing? What are you playing tonight?
I don't know yet. I think I want to go back to Grindstormer. I want to try to beat that. Like I've gotten pretty far.
Nice.
I need to beat that on Evercade. I make like Dungeon Crawler. Kind of been addicted to that roguelike. I may play more of that. I think you know what Pete's channel's called? He's the Ever Canadian, dude.
He is the Ever Canadian.
Yeah.
Unless Trump gets his way,
Yeah.
No, if Trump gets his way, I'll never forever be Canadian. I guess I could still be ever American.
You could just be ever,
Yeah, we put a deal out anyway. We're open Washington, California, Oregon, Minnesota joins us. So
there you go.
We'll see.
What about you, Crow? What you got?
I'm on hiatus.
That's
Crow
right.
is in sales mode. Remember, he said he's taking some time off.
I'm making the Skrilla.
He's making the Skrilla.
Yes, he's got the fat chest.
I cannot wait to see what you're gonna do with all that money.
Survive.
That's awesome.
Well, I actually tested for COVID earlier this week, so I'm regaining my strength.
You're fine. So yeah, like he's saving for something, but he won't tell us what he's doing. So
yeah, I'm not. And I got a huge mess back here. You saw it, and I know you want one of these.
Yes.
Apparently.
Well, you didn't send me pictures of your other box stuff because I need some other box stuff.
What other box stuff? I sent you the pictures you asked for.
Yeah, I know, but like if you got like the like other handhelded box stuff, that's what I'm looking handhelds.
Do you need I found this because I didn't realize I still had this. Do you need a Neo Geo Pocket Color box?
No, I've got one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I got the original Game Boy.
Yes, those are the ones I'm looking at. You need to send me some pictures on that.
Okay, well, I have the box, but it's going to come with a Game Boy.
Yeah,
I want that. I don't mind that. I don't mind that because I want to give it to my wife, who used to be a big Game Boy player, and I want to give her, because hers are broken, I want to get it modded and give it to her as a gift.
PSA: if there's a box you need, this man probably has it.
Yeah. As long as the deal's
And
good.
it might
you know,
actually
Canadian.
include a console in it.
Yes, send me some of that in your price report because I want to try to.
If he gives you the friend discount.
Crow treats me
Friends
good.
and
I bought
family
games from
discount.
Crow like
it only
7 years
costs
ago.
$99.99 a year
Oh,
for the discount.
I bought Crow games from Crow before, so
A long time ago, so long ago I didn't even remember.
7 years, I think.
Yeah, see, Rich is holding. I say he might be interested in that.
Yeah.
Genejoke pocket
We'll,
code.
do you want the-
we'll
do
go
you-
and
do you
pick
wanna-
through your corpse for stuff, Crow.
Do you need a box to go with it?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm thinking about selling my Neo Geo handheld because I don't play it enough, and I'm worried that like I got to start getting rid of stuff I don't play so much anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just the screen. I need brighter screen. But I finally found somebody in my area, like literally 10 minutes from my house, that does modding of consoles. Finally, so I can get a lot of my handhelds updated with screens. So that's the goal.
Oh, this is specifically for the Stone Blue for one.
Oh, yes.
Cool. All right. Awesome. Yeah, we should go because we have to
End
go.
the stream. I'm being summoned. This was awesome. Fun to hear everybody's thoughts and everything. So we'll go ahead and close it out. And
Absolutely.
I'm gonna jump. See you guys. Thanks for sticking with us. The Beatles are still together, so
Yes.
We're still
Awesome.
here.
Yep. Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks, Crash Line, Mr. Shua, Immortal Sojourn, Sucker MC, Ember Cummings, Joe Whitlash.